Meghan, or just call me Meg, as she apparently likes to go by, and her spare handbag, Harry, have finally left Australia after a whirlwind circus, which included a taxpayer-funded walk around Sydney. The New South Wales Police dog squad were even called in for extra security. Seriously, you can't make this stuff up. A Woe Is Me microphone tour, a blink and you'll miss Meg 2-hour girls' weekend appearance, a cash for wear clothing scheme. Oh, and the grifters are set to pocket $10 million from their
7 people, just 47,047 human beings across the whole country.
4-day visit. Terrific, isn't it? Oh, but don't worry. They got their privacy. Look at this. No crowds. No crowds for them at the Sydney Opera House.
Really said yes. $3,000 was a fair price for a weekend with the Duchess of Sussex, and even that number sounded generous. The event was supposed to bring Meghan back onto the world stage, reminding everyone why she matters, but Australia flipped the script in a brutal way. Instead of cheers, there were protests, awkward silence, and a crowd that just wasn't feeling it. Think about how it was advertised. Meghan.
Same. And it's a far cry from the tens of thousands who lined up and camped out, as you can see there, 8 years ago when they last came. I mean, look at the crowds then, the signs, the Aussie flags. They loved them.
Living her best life in Sydney, 5-star hotel, ocean views, luxury everywhere. Tickets started at $2,600. Packages hit $3,000, and it was sold as a transformational weekend with the Duchess of Sussex. A chance to connect, to be inspired, to empower women. Now look at what people actually got. Meghan showed up around 5 in the afternoon, spent barely 2 hours on stage, and then left in the back of a Range Rover heading to a rugby match. 2 hours, that's it. A whole weekend promise cut down to just 2 hours for $3,000. And it gets worse. No photos, no filming, heavy security checking bags like it's an airport.
They love them. Oh, and that was the same trip, by the way, that they called the catalyst for leaving the royal family. Well, look at that. Compare the pair. Oh, and that
real interaction, no meaningful connection, nothing like what was sold. People flew into Sydney, booked the hotel, dressed up, got excited, and the person they came to see barely stayed. Imagine that moment. You spend thousands, you're sitting there thinking this could change your life. And then it's over before it even starts. One person even said, "My whole life investing in women, and then Meghan leaves early for a rugby event. That hits different." And then came the defense. "Oh, this was always the plan. Meghan had a wonderful time." Sure. But what about the women sitting there, confused and disappointed? Even the media couldn't smooth it over completely. Out of all those attendees, only a small group seemed supportive. And
it was also the same trip, by the way, where Meghan reportedly said, "Oh, gee, I can't believe I'm not being paid for this." Seriously. But have a look at how unbothered Aussies are by these two. Oh, no one's moving. Look. Nothing.
Many reports came from journalists trying to make sense of it. One headline said it all, and it stuck. But here's the twist. It wasn't even the most embarrassing part. Inside the event, at least you could look away. Outside, a completely different story. On the streets of Sydney, expectations were high. People thought crowds would flood in, excitement everywhere. Full-on crowd control barriers stretching down both sides. That's what was expected. Reality? Maybe 50 people walked by. Some didn't even stop. It looked
to have made a whopping $10 million from this trip, would you believe? According to expert Ted Jenkin, this is extraordinary, Meghan and Harry could make more money from audience, aggregation, premium access, brand leverage. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex could earn $2 million from speaking engagements and appearances, $3.5 million from sponsorships and brand deals, and $4.5 million from media and content value.
Staged, like people were trying hard to make it seem bigger than it was. Cameras kept focusing on the same angles, the same faces, over and over. Because if you don't move the camera, you don't have to show the empty space. Clips started spreading fast, screenshots, videos, people noticed. One comment said it clearly, "What crowd?" And at that point, it was hard to argue with that. Take a look at
citizens? I mean, didn't they beg for privacy? Wasn't that the big shtick for them, leaving the royal family to go about their lives away from the cameras? Please. Now, look, we've got to talk about this girls' weekend, don't we? Where women paid thousands of dollars to hear Meghan speak. So let me put this into perspective. The pair start the morning off on a taxpayer-funded coastal walk in Sydney. There they are, the police around, in tow, following them around. Who's paying for that, by the way? The hard-working Aussies in the middle of a cost of living and fuel crisis. So then
this next part because it hits different. It's not fans, it's genuinely upset people. Parents, nurses, people at the Royal Melbourne event who were expecting something meaningful, something respectful tied to real community connection. There was one moment that looked touching on the surface. An older woman standing brave, showing love, a real human moment. But then the context comes out and it changes everything. These were children going through chemotherapy with weak immune systems. And suddenly there's concern about exposure, about safety. It turns uncomfortable fast. People started asking serious questions. Why put vulnerable individuals in that situation? Why risk it for a quick appearance? And then, within minutes, something else happened that raised even more eyebrows. Meghan's outfit was suddenly being promoted online, live on fashion websites, ready for people to shop instantly. The timing...
Go to this lavish hotel where the event is being held, and guess what? According to the Daily Mail, the New South Wales Police dog squad was brought in for extra security at the hotel. Now, can somebody please explain to me why the canines were there?
Way too precise to ignore. That sequence alone had people talking nonstop. Because it made the whole situation feel less genuine and more like a setup. Moments that were supposed to feel real started looking calculated. Then there was Bondi Beach. Meghan meeting individuals connected to a tragic event from December 2024, a moment that should have stayed respectful and low-key. 15 people affected, a serious situation, and yet people noticed the same pattern again. The outfit worn during that moment also appeared online for purchase almost instantly. That's when people really started connecting the dots. Because once is one thing, but twice, and the internet didn't stay quiet. Reactions poured in, and not all of them were kind. Then,
was there some sort of a bomb threat? And all at the expense of the taxpayer again. And look, I got to say, lucky the dogs didn't go close to Harry. I mean, the dogs would have been set off. We all know about his drug history. He spoke about it very extensively in Spare.
Came another clip that people couldn't ignore. A woman just lying on the sand, minding her business, relaxing, enjoying a public beach. Nothing unusual. But instead of walking around, there was space everywhere. Meghan and the group walked straight past her like she wasn't even there. Like she didn't exist. That moment stuck with people. Because sometimes it's the small actions that say the most, and this one had everyone talking. This woman? A legend move. She didn't even look up, didn't give them a single glance, not even a second of attention. She became a symbol of the whole tour without saying a word. While everything else felt staged and loud, she did nothing and somehow said everything. And then there's that clip, the one that exploded online in less than 24 hours. Meghan is on the beach, moving through the space, clearly aware of the cameras, making sure the moment is captured. Nearby, there's a little girl just minding her own business. Meghan leans in, trying to create a moment. The girl looks up, pauses, and then quietly turns away. No drama.
So why the heck did they call the dogs? How dramatic and pathetic can this be? And so, of course, the event begins. Meghan Markle spends 2 hours with these women. Oh, there's the Moe ready to go. 2 hours. And bear in mind, they paid 3,200 Australian dollars for a chance to spend time with her. 2 hours. Oh, but don't worry, they got their little group photo. They got the Q&A. But spare a thought for those women who actually did pay that money.
No reaction, just a simple, clear no without saying a word. That moment hit hard, because it wasn't loud. It wasn't forced. It was natural. And the comments under that video? They told the whole story of what people were really thinking. Some might say it means nothing. But when millions of people watch the same clip and walk away with the same feeling, that says everything. Now take this number and really think about it. Same week, same country, same time frame. Another event pulled in thousands of paying attendees. Meanwhile, Meghan's event, just a tiny fraction showed up. That contrast says more than any headline ever could, because attention doesn't always mean support. For years, there's been this idea that attention equals love, that controversy equals popularity. But that's not how it works. People watch for all kinds of reasons. Sometimes it's curiosity, sometimes it's disbelief, like slowing down just to take a second look. And then we get to the bigger picture. They talk about mental health, about serious global issues, about changing the world. But at some point, the gap between what's said and what's actually done becomes impossible to ignore. And once people start seeing that gap clearly, there's no covering it up. During that same period, comments involving William started circulating again, and the tone caught people off guard. The word hate was used openly, and that didn't sit right with a lot of people watching. Think about it. Two brothers who once stood side by side, now completely distant. That's no longer just private, it's something the whole world is watching. After the interviews, the deals, the documentaries, the book, after years of staying in headlines, this moment felt different. Because this time there wasn't outrage, no massive backlash, no loud reaction. People just didn't show up. No lines, no crowds, no energy. Just silence where there was supposed to be excitement. And that silence, it spoke louder than anything else. Because you can argue with criticism, you can respond to headlines, but you can't force people to care. And that quiet absence ended up saying more than any reaction ever could. Subscribe to Monarchy Cup.